Pisces. Boom bam! Hello everyone and welcome to another discussion with Ethel Chamomile. And today we have a guest and he is Bryan. Introduce yourself, Bryan.
Hey there, it's me, Bryan.
Yee. For those who watch me, you probably already know who Bryan is.
Local
Basically one of my
Texan
viewers.
and massive simp.
Yee. Locally how? Locally how citizen. Okay, so anyway, today or tonight, or more like in this video, we're gonna be discussing about the um the pros and cons of following your what your parents say versus living the life as you see fit. So basically, being obedient or being a rebel to your parents. Which one? Da da da. So what's your take in this, Brian?
Personally, I believe that every person should live their life the way that they see fit instead of living and adhering to the expectations of those around them.
Mm. So just live your life then without do you really mean like without like um uh just basically ignore the expectation of people around you?
Oh, no, of course not. I believe that there are certain things that we should certain mannerisms and morals that we should that we should follow and
Mm-hmm.
not entirely just completely ignore everything your parents say or your peers or adults around you say, but rather you shouldn't just listen to everything older people tell you blindly.
Ah, so not blindly then. Mm. So, then that means if your say, let's say your parent doesn't want, say, they want you to not move out of your house. Let's say, so, but you want to move out of your house. Which one do you think is best chosen?
I think that as soon as you are 18 years old,
Mm-hmm.
you should you should be able to leave if you want to. However,
Mm. Mm.
if you don't have a job, if you have never like you don't know how to pay bills, you don't know where to go,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have a license, anything like that, then I think in that case it would be best to listen to your parents. But
Ah.
if you have all of these things, you have a steady job, a vehicle, you have your ID or license, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you've already paid taxes, you know the deal pretty much.
Mm.
Your parents shouldn't try to stop you.
Ah, so in the case of that, if you already have everything under control and you are basically set up for at least you think you should do okay out there, then the parents shouldn't be able to stop you
Yes,
like
that's
that.
correct.
Mm. Wait, so you're saying the parents shouldn't stop you? So is it is it gonna be the parents' fault if they want to stop you though?
Well, it's natural for a parent to worry, but at the same time, there's a fine line between worrying and being controlling.
Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. But a parent is they they basically keep you alive all those years though. They make sure that you have a good life, at least the efforts parents do. So is it really okay to just not follow what they say, you know?
Well, the way I see it is, as soon as you're of age,
Mm-hmm.
it's time for you to live your life. Of course,
Mm.
your parents have taken care of you for all those years and they love you a lot
Mm.
and they only want the best for you. But at the end of the day, you know what's best for you more than your parents do, and
Ah.
choosing to do exactly what they say your entire life is just gonna lead you down a path of, you know, depression, and you're setting yourself up for failure because if you just do what everyone says and you never make decisions on your own, what happens whenever you don't have anyone to tell you what to do anymore?
ああ、なるほど。うんうんうん。So if that will end up making the parents like sad or cry even then if it's something that you want to do, like for example getting out of the house, then you just gotta do it then. You have all the rights you have. Yeah, you have all the rights to do it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, you have
Mm.
every right to live your life the way that you want to. And of course it's going to break their heart, but
Mm.
your parents love you. They'll learn to live with the decision, and if you
Oh.
mess up, they're you know, no good parent would turn you away if you messed up and you had no place to go. But at the
Mm.
same time, what if you succeed,
Mm.
Wouldn't that make them proud if you went out and you grabbed life, you took life by the bootstraps and you just get it done and you're successful and you did
Mm.
it on your own? Wouldn't that make them proud?
Aw. I would be proud. Indeed, indeed. Okay, so you did something that your parent doesn't like, but you want to do. But in this case, it's not harming anyone, and it's your own decision and all that. Okay, let's just take that example we used just now. Going out from the house. Okay, and your parents didn't want you to go out. Now, but now that you're already out of the house, do you still have right to like get help from your parents?
Well, in my case,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of give or take because with my parents, uh, I've borrowed money from my parents to pay
Mm.
bills before, but at the same time, I've always paid them back, like within a week, 2 weeks tops. And
Ah.
on the flip side, my parents have borrowed money from me. You know,
Oh.
it's give or take. Like we're all adults,
Mm-hmm.
so it's
Mm.
just a matter of it's not wrong to ask help from family, but there's a difference between taking advantage and just needing help and being responsible about it. I
Ah.
definitely think it's wrong if you want to move out and you want to do your own thing, but every week you're saying, "Hey mom, can I borrow a couple of $100?" Like that's wrong. That's not cool.
Oh. Okay, okay. Agree, actually, agree. So basically, as long as it like give or take, right? Then it
Yes.
is it is okay to still get help from the parents that you upset because why the
Why? Well,
mm.
the way like they're your parents, and as long as you're not taking advantage, I personally don't think it's wrong.
Oh.
And of course you didn't do what they wanted you to.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer or
Mm.
something like that, and then
Mm.
you go and become a DJ or an artist
Oh
online,
my, very
whatever, like
Asian.
something like that. Then then yeah, of course they may say like, why should we help you? And that's fair. You
Mm.
disappointed them or you upset them even, but at the end of the day,
Mm.
I don't think it's wrong to ask help of your parents
Ah.
unless you know they can't afford to do it and you're asking anyways. But
Ah. Okay,
but
okay.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, as long as you're paying them back, I don't see it as an issue.
Ah. So so basically, yeah, back to conclusion. As long as it's give and take relation, then it is still okay. Mm-hmm. Now, let's say you went out of the house. Okay, and or you became the DJ when your parent wanted you to become a doctor, and then you are actually successful. You find life. You're living good life now and all that. Are you obliged to like pay your parents back for
Absolutely,
them taking care of
absolutely
you?
not. Absolutely
Mm.
not. It is, it is a big responsibility to become a parent, and you know
Mm.
what you're doing whenever you do the deed and you have that kid.
Mm-hmm.
You knew what you were signing up for, and it is your responsibility to take care of that kid. It is your obligation, and to tell someone that you raised that they owe you something, I personally think that's extremely wrong because
Oh.
you
Mm-hmm.
because you know just hear me out for a second. Once
Okay. Okay.
someone is brought into this world, you're pretty much putting you you're pretty much putting the burden of living on them because
Ah.
yes, life isn't just, always good and it's not always bad, but you're putting that person in the world, so now they have to suffer hardships, they have to survive, they
Mm-hmm.
have to make a living, they have all these things they have to do. And all of that is solely because of your actions. So it is
Mm-hmm.
your obligation as a parent to take care of your child. Once they're an adult, the obligation stops there,
Mm.
and they don't owe you anything,
Mm.
in
Oh.
my opinion.
Mm. Oh. Okay. So basically, the child didn't ask to be born or even created, and but the parent were the ones who made them who put them into the world anyway. So it's the parents' obligation, responsibility to take care of the child. Hmm. But you said
Yes.
the obligation stops when the child is reach adulthood. Why does it stop?
Whenever whenever your kid is ready to go out and live on their own,
Mm-hmm.
whether they choose to, follow the path you set for them, or if they choose to walk their own path in life,
Mm-hmm.
as soon as they leave your house, as soon as they're not living under your roof and they're paying their own bills and they're taking care of their own business, the
Mm-hmm.
obligation ends there.
Mm. So the obligation ends there. So if let's say the child is suffering outside actually, they fail here and there and basically really hit a rock bottom. Are the parents not obliged to help them at
They're
that
not
point?
obliged. They're not
Mm.
obliged to help, but I sincerely doubt that any good parent would turn their kid away.
Ah, なるほど、
But
なる
like
ほど。
like I said, the
Mm.
obligation ends once they decide that they're not gonna live under your roof and follow your rules.
Oh, so if the child decide to follow what the parent told them, then the obligation doesn't end?
I don't In my opinion, no, because they're dedicating their life to what the parents chose and they're not doing what
Mm.
they want to do. So if they're living their life for the sake of their parents and, you know, following that path that they didn't choose but was chosen for them, then it's
Mm-hmm.
the responsibility of the person choosing the path of the entirety of your life to take
Ah.
like, you know, you're not making that decision like, for yourself, so it's not 100% it's not 100% your responsibility, that still falls on the parents, in my opinion.
Okay, なるほど。
Because,
Mm-hmm.
like, let's say they want you to go to law school, and you
Mm.
go to law school and something happens, it could be anything, and you get expelled, and now you
Mm-hmm.
have all of this debt that you have to pay off.
Mm.
That shouldn't fall on you because it wasn't 100, well, maybe half and half, because it wasn't 100% your decision to do that. If that makes any sense.
Mm. Mm-mm. Okay, so the debt will fall onto the parents because the parents are the ones who told the child to go to the law school. Is that it?
Well, I'd say it's half and half because,
Ah.
it's not. because, it's still your decision to choose to follow what your parents tell you. So,
Mm.
I would say it only partially falls on them to help you with the debt because it's it was their decision, but likewise, it was your decision to follow their decision.
Oh, okay, get it, get it. So, that would be the pro um on following the path that your parents decide for you, because then oh my god, my throat. Hold on. The because then they still will be obliged to support you, so you'll have more support if you follow their path. That's one of the pros in following your parents. Mm-hmm. Then
Yes.
what's the pro of going against your parent and living as you see fit?
Well, there's a lot more opportunities that way, like a lot more for you to experience because like anybody who's ever decided that they're just going to do what their parents say from what I've seen because
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the side of I went and did my own thing
Mm.
more out of necessity than desire, but still from everything I've ever heard or seen from people who are just living based off what their parents expect of them, it's a lot of, sacrificing your social life and free time to study or to
Mm.
go to all these different like do all these different courses or go to like schools and they're constantly just living by their parents' rules and doing all of this extra work to be able like to be successful
Mm.
versus for me uh I dropped out of high school like I said out
Oh.
of necessity more than desire,
Mm-hmm.
and I got a full-time job. I worked about 80 hours a week, but I was making a little over 1,000 like every week, give or take. And I was able to pay all of my bills and I was able to buy whatever I wanted to and I could, life was good. I was tired all the time, sure, but
Mm.
I was able to live as I see fit. I was able to go and hang out with my friends and I
Oh.
was able to go anywhere I wanted to, do anything I want, and I
Mm-hmm.
didn't versus, all of my friends who were going to like college or law school or going to a trade school or all of this and that they were always studying, they could never talk to anybody, they couldn't go out and socialize, their life was pretty much 100% dedicated to studying and
Oh.
they were always like so miserable from what I could tell, and they would always
Mm.
tell me that they wish they didn't have to do it, but it's what their parents wanted. So the way I've always seen it is, to an extent, living 100% for the expectations of others always leads you to a miserable life.
Mm. Okay, okay, okay. So it's more than it's sacrificing the support of the parents for your own happiness in life then. Mm-hmm. Is it possible though to follow your parents the path your parents choose and also be happy in it?
Almost definitely, but that's definitely a rare case. And I
Mm.
guess it really depends on, what your parents expect of you because, they they don't always expect you to like go and do great things and bury your nose in a book 24/7. For
Mm.
example, my own dad, all he
Mm.
expects of me is that that I pay my own bills and I don't kill anybody. Yeah.
Okay. So, and you're doing that.
Yeah.
Isn't that then that doesn't that means that you're following your dad's path? The path that your dad chose for you then?
Well, not necessarily because he hasn't really set a path for me. He wants me to be successful in my own way
Mm-hmm.
and he doesn't really tell me I have to do this or that. He would just, he prefers that I be a decent human being.
Ah, so it's not.
Yeah.
It's different case then. It's not really a path, but it's more like just a lesson, something like that.
Or or,
It. Hmm?
or rather like, just a simple expectation
Ah, simple
versus
expectation. Okay,
yeah,
okay, okay.
versus having like, some grand scheme planned out for his children's life.
Mm,
Uh he just wants them, he just has like an expectation rather
mm.
than rather than having a path he would have us follow.
Okay. But how about people who are not allowed to follow their own path? Like I don't really know. Is like the prince and princesses of the like England maybe they're still in kingdom, right? They still use kingdom, is it? And
No,
they
the monarchy is to the extent of my knowledge, the monarchy is more of a, you know, it's just for show because
ah
they because England has a democracy, uh,
ah
and it's just that the royal family is there for the sake of being the royal family.
oh, so they're just for show.
Yeah.
They don't have any obligation at all.
Well, of course they have obligations and all these formalities,
Mm-hmm.
and of course, they have decorum and they have to act a certain way to preserve, the image of royalty.
Mm.
But at the same time, there's nothing stopping them from saying, I'm not going to do it.
Oh.
It's just, if you had to choose between giving up your royal title and going and getting a normal job and being like, probably you're going to end up poor or even just moderately successful, or would you
Mm.
rather just keep your royal title and have everything handed to you and, live a life of luxury? So that's the
Ah.
way it is.
So it's basically the same case then. Whether you give up your support for all the early support for a happier life for yourself, or keep the support but not living your life as you want it. Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Yeah.
But what if I can't really think of a case, but what about if, for example, if you choose your own path, there will be others that will suffer from that. I can't really think of an example though. So, okay, maybe this isn't really a real world example, but maybe there are some like equivalent to it. For example, let's say we go back to the royalty thingy. Let's say you're the only son of a king, and your father is already old, but you don't want to be the king or something like that. It's too, maybe it's too, it doesn't really fit your um it doesn't really fitting the you see it's not gonna be fun. But if you run away, if you don't become the king, the kingdom will suffer. What really, what to do in this case?
Well, in that case, it's, it's at the end of the day, no matter what
Mm-hmm.
anyone says, no one is truly obligated to follow any kind of path or take care of anybody,
Mm.
Society, morals, all of that stuff it's purely based on, mutual agreement. Like
Mm.
nobody has to truly follow any laws or, social norms. It's all purely based on if everybody decides that they're going to do it, you know.
Ah. Mm-hmm.
So if you wanted to just, leave and not, succeed the throne,
Mm-hmm.
like and the king dies, he would just have like they're going to replace him, That's just how it's going to be. And you
Mm.
may ruin your kingdom and your legacy and all of your family's history
Mm-hmm.
if you were to run away in this example,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still your decision, You
Oh.
don't have to succeed the throne. You don't have to be the king. I mean, honestly, you're probably going to, like, that's too good of a deal to pass up,
Yeah.
but but, I mean, it's still not, like, your responsibility, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So like you're not obliged then, but then if you turn it down, then it's your risk. It's your own risk. You go live your life as whoever you want. It's your own risk then. And it
Yes.
doesn't really matter if the kingdom will suffer because of that. That is your risk then. The guilt is on you,
Yes.
something like that. You decide that you want to live with the guilt.
Yes, and
Mm-hmm.
you're probably gonna get hunted down and
Oh
all
yeah.
that, I guess, but yeah.
uh, Hmm, I see, I see. That's really big risk actually. Maybe just take the throne after all.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Hmm. I don't really have any other question to ask. Do you have any? Do you have your own question maybe?
Well, okay, so let's see.
Hmm.
How do you feel about it? Like, do you think that someone should follow their own path, or should they listen to what their parents say?
I would really say just follow your own path. Really, it's for your own good. I mean, um, I didn't know like a friend back then, right? So
Mhm.
he followed the parents to go to this. Wait, I kind of forgot what was it again. It's basically like school or something. Basically, mm, like a major. They just say a major in college, right? But he doesn't really like that major. It's not really his passion, but he followed anyway. And well, he did. He wasn't really very happy about it. So yeah, I would say just follow what you just do what you want, but whatever you do, it gonna there. If you do that, there's gonna be risk, and you're gonna have to live with that risk. And so yeah, basically like that. You do you, but take responsibility of yourself. Hmm.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. It get me thinking though. How about the person who choose to live their own life? Okay, let's say they go out of the parents' home, even though the parents don't want them to go out. But then this person they can't live on their own. So let's say they still ask for the parents' money. What's your thought about that?
So they just wanna be out of the house, but they still wanna live off their parents?
Yeah. Basically,
That's being
they want to live the life as they see fit, but they don't have what it takes.
I think they're being a bum. Yeah.
They're being a bum. But
Yeah.
aren't they living the life as they see fit though? Just like we
Well
agree that which is the best part, the best one to choose.
well, I agree that, that's living your life the way you see fit, but
Mm.
at the same time, I think that if you wanna do that, you should do it, yourself. You should take care of yourself. You should be responsible for yourself.
Mm.
And it's because if you wanna leave your parents' home and you don't wanna listen to their rules, then
Mhm.
they have no obligation to take care of you, so and no one does really. Like, that'd be like, going and getting a boyfriend or a girlfriend to take care of you,
Mm.
or, like, strictly getting into relationships with other people for the sake of not having to work. I think that that's really low down,
Ah. Mm.
you know? Because if you wanna live your life on your terms, you
Mhm.
have to take care of yourself. That's my opinion.
Mm. Okay, okay. So basically like that lah. The risk, right? The risk of
Yes.
leaving ourselves, and then also then that means living. I think that falls into the category of responsibility. Then you have
Mhm.
to you if you choose to go out. Um. like rebel against your parents' will, then it's your responsibility to take care of yourself. And if you can't do that, what is the best course, do you think? If someone who rebel against the parents' will but can't really take the responsibility.
Well, you know, as mean as it is to say, if you can't handle the responsibilities of adulthood,
Mm-hmm.
you just got to tuck your tail in between your legs and go home and apologize.
Aw.
And
then if you so that means if someone doesn't have what it takes to live the life they chose, then they got no right to live the life they chose.
well, no,
Something like
that's
that.
not the case.
Hmm?
I would say that, if you're not ready, you're not ready.
Uh,
But, sometimes it's sink or swim because what if your
mm-hmm.
parents tell you, well, you wanted to live your life the way you wanted to,
Mm-hmm.
so we're not going to help you. It falls on you to take care of yourself now.
Mm. What about
Like,
mm-hmm.
if that's the case, you may have had some grand plan for how you're going to be successful in life. You're going to go far. You're going to do this or that. But, sometimes it doesn't work that way. And, you may have to get, social like or welfare. You may have to get food stamps. You may
Mm.
end up flipping burgers at McDonald's, living in a single bedroom apartment in a bad
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood. But,
Oh,
that's the risk you took.
there is right. Mm-hmm. But okay, so what if someone they took this risk, right? And they got this responsibility of living their own life. But then they can't properly do these responsibilities. But instead of going back, they keep going until until their last breath. What do you say about that? Like
Well, I like that
basically
kind of
die or
attitude.
something.
Well, that's a good attitude to have. If
Mm.
you ask me, tenacity is one of the keys to success in life.
Ah. So basically, so that's actually admirable then. That
Definitely.
hmm, they go out of their way to live the life they want, but they just keep on going even though the odds are against them, and then they keep going until uh, and turns out nothing good happens, and turns out it he's that this person died because of that. But he didn't. He never like go back to their parents for help or anything like that. And that's admirable.
Well,
Hmm?
I mean, the way I see it, if you're that determined to not go back to your parents, there is clearly something wrong with your home life.
uh, okay. Hi. I'm out of question. Do you have any other questions? Perhaps.
Mm, I think I have all my questions asked as well.
Oh. Oh, the mouse is praying again. Okay, let me think of some more questions. Hold on. So we have like parents, cons. Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do about if you have a child that rebel against you though? That they want to live their life, but the life that you choose, you know, it will lead them to ruin. Like, let's say it's not a good life.
So,
What do you say about that?
so, if, so you're saying, like, let's say, for example, try to become a drug dealer?
Maybe can.
Well, I mean, the way I see it, sometimes you just gotta smack some sense into some people.
Just gotta smack them. Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, if they choose to be criminal, just smack them. They don't have the right to choose if to become a criminal. Then, but
Well,
is
no,
it?
of course they have the right to choose, but I have a right to give them a piece of my mind about it.
Huh? Okay. It's right
Yeah,
versus right then. Uh,
indeed.
but what
And
if he insists to?
hmm,
But what if this child insists you? Like they say I don't know. Maybe they really bent on doing so, on being
Well
a
then
drug dealer.
they're gonna have to live with the consequences of their actions because crime doesn't pay.
So, but at least you did land a punch or two in his face when he decided, huh?
Yeah, I
But then
mean
again, huh. You
I
mean?
mean, I definitely I can say this, I've had family members who've chosen that life, and they've been to prison, and, they come out a changed person, and they regret their actions, so, if you can't change their mind, you honestly just have to let the system do its thing because,
Ah.
once someone has something set in their mind, like, set in their heart, set in their mind, they're not gonna change their opinion on
Mm.
it, so, like, if you can't convince them, don't push too hard because then you're just gonna push them away from you
Ah.
forever.
Then just let them learn their own lessons then.
Mhm. That's part of life.
Hmm. But what if they go to jail and the lesson they learn is to how to avoid the police next? And
Yeah, that
they actually turns out to be a successful drug dealer.
well, then, to be honest with you,
Mm-hmm.
the only way you're gonna ever avoid the law that well is if you're just, like, some kind of rich drug lord. Like, I don't care how good you are, you're gonna get caught.
Um.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say for the sake of the discussion, let's say this child actually succeed as a drug lord and he become rich out of it, and influential and all that. What's your thought about it then? As the
Well,
parent who once punished him for being wanting to be one. I mean, it
I'd be
is still a
really
bad path, but
I'd be very disappointed, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, they're successful.
mm-hmm,
They're living their life the way they see fit, and, as a parent, it wouldn't be my place to say anything. I
mm,
definitely I definitely wouldn't, let them into my home again if they were to become a drug lord, because there's a lot of bad stuff that comes along with that, you know.
narahada. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm.
if your child
Mm-hmm.
chooses a bad path,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's okay to be disappointed, and, you have no obligation to take them back in if they choose the wrong path, you
Mm.
know. There's a difference between wanting to live your life the right way and wanting to live your life the wrong way. And people try to
Mm.
say morals are subjective, but that isn't the case because they're universal morals. Nobody
Mm.
likes killing, for example.
Yeah.
In no society is it okay to just walk up and, shoot someone in the face.
Mm-hmm.
So morals aren't subjective as people suggest.
Mm.
There there are morals that are universal. So there are certain things that people can't just choose to do and it's okay because it's their choice.
Ah. Narada. Mm-hmm. Okay. Hmm. But okay. Let's say my child decide to become a drug dealer. Is it okay for me to definitely not let the child become one? Because if let's say he gets caught, then I'm gonna be the one getting in trouble as well. Is it okay for that? Like I'm not preventing him from becoming a drug dealer because it's a bad path, but it's more like protecting myself from future problem. Is that
Well,
okay,
I
do you
think
think?
I think that's the wrong mentality, but at the same time, like, well, any mentality where the parent thinks that they have to, you know, stop the kid from doing this or that for the sake of the parent, I don't like that kind of mentality.
Oh.
However, if it was for the sake of the child, that's different.
Mm. Okay. So the parents doesn't have the rights to protect themselves from the child's future from future problems that the child potential gonna bring them.
Well, if the child is still under the care of the parent should act and for what's the best interest of the child. Try to teach the child right. Try to keep the child on the correct path. But
Mm.
once they go and they are living their life, and they're no longer under the parents' roof and their
Mm-hmm.
rules, then like I said at the beginning, your obligation ends there. So
Ah.
if your kid is out there, like selling drugs and killing people and what
Mm-hmm.
have you, and it's going to in some way negatively affect you,
Mm-hmm.
then yes, you should do something about it, but for your sake. But
Mm-hmm.
that's after your obligation as a parent is over.
Hmm. So after my vacation, so let's say my child is like 18 or 19, and he wants to do the bad thing, to go to the bed, to go to down the bed path that will get me future trouble. Am I now allowed to stop him to protect myself?
Well, what do you mean by stopping him?
Hmm? Well,
How
yeah.
would you stop him? Like report him to the police, or do you mean like lock him in a basement? Like what do you mean?
Lock him in the basement, kind of thing, maybe.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah, that's probably not a good ideal.
I guess so. Yeah.
I mean, you
Mhm.
should probably, try, maybe rehab, some kind of correctional program, or, just try to, give them a better option. Not
Ah.
necessarily force them, but, try to show them. But like I
Mm.
said, once someone has their heart set on something, there's no changing it.
Mm. So I guess I can you can actually see it as the reason why this child wants to become a drug dealer in the first place is probably have something to do with their parenting. So
Yeah,
basically, you're
definitely.
reaping what you saw.
Mhm.
I see. I see. Mm-hmm. Ah, okay. Let's think of another question. Do you have another question? Maybe something come up uh when we were discussing things?
Why would you lock a kid in a basement?
Let's just say it's kind of a house rule in my household because I've been in the basement before.
Well, my parents, my mom was more of a corporal punishment type person, like go outside and pull your own switch. But my
Mm.
dad was the type to, get down on your level, kneel down, look you right in your eyes and say, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. And that one hurt
Oh.
way worse. That
Mm.
hurts. Your parents tell you that and ooh,
Oof. Oof
you
indeed.
never
Oof
want
indeed.
you never want to do that again. You're like, man, I messed up.
Right. Yeah, and then
But
that's actually a really good parenting. I mean,
mhm,
I don't really think I'm gonna actually like lock my kid in a basement. I just think that it's like a hilarious, not a hilarious idea. It's a terrible idea, of course. Like don't take me out of context there. Don't
already
clip
did.
that. Thank you. Oh no, please don't. So yeah, that's actually a rather better parenting. Just say you're disappointed and all that, right? And then the
Yeah.
kid gonna be like,
But but
mm-hmm,
definitely I think that the best way to raise a kid is to lead by example. Like,
mm,
because kids, just animals in general, like any kind of anything, they emulate what they see.
mm,
So it's definitely also a matter of what you let your child be exposed to. Don't
mm.
let like it's okay to let them play violent games once they're old enough.
Oh, hold on, your voice is cutting out. Hello, hello. Is it the internet? Whose connection is this? Hello, you're cutting out. You're fading out.
Hear me now?
Still not. Still not. Still cannot. Hello, are you there? Are you
Second,
here? Are you here? Give us a sign. Give us a sign. Are you okay over there? Is the internet okay? Is it my internet? It cannot be my internet. It's not mine. Hello, Ren? Are you alright over there? Okay. Let's wait until Bryan is back. Maybe I should actually cut this, but I'm too lazy to.
can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
sorry.
Welcome back. Hmm.
I switched my hotspot because my
Oh,
Wi-Fi
okay.
is being funky. Okay,
Being
so where was
funky.
I? Oh,
Oh yeah,
so
setting by example
uh,
thingy.
leading by example. You know,
Mm-hmm.
here's one way to avoid putting any kind of expectation or pressure on your kid. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I see it all the time. Uh, Parents giving their kids iPhones and all these tablets and game consoles whenever they're like 5 years old, and
Mm-hmm.
letting them just that's how the parents keep the kids off their back. They have their peace and quiet. I think
Ah,
that's I think that's evil. I think
I
it's
agree.
absolutely evil
Mm-hmm.
because it kind of like, it kind of detaches the kid from reality to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
They can't they it desocializes them. They're stuck in the screen, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And the internet's a horrible place, like everybody knows that. And
Yeah.
these kids have full unrestricted access to it.
Oh my.
And they're
Ah.
spending all of their time on the internet learning all this horrible stuff and
Mm-hmm.
forming all of these bad habits. And it's not the right way to do things, in my opinion. For example, my nephew, my sister lets him do whatever he wants. He can just get
Mm.
on the internet and just watch whatever. Versus me, if I'm watching him, there's no like if he gets to play games 1 hour a day.
Oh.
And and the reason being is I want to I want him to spend time talking to people, interacting with people.
Mm-hmm.
I make him use his manners. You know, I make him clean up his messes. I make him pick up his toys. He
Oh,
makes a
that's
mess when he's eating.
nice.
I make him clean it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to teach kids. You have to teach them, and you
Mm-hmm.
have to make them interact with people. If that
Ah,
makes any
okay.
sense.
Okay, I makes sense, makes sense. I get it, I get it. Nice, nice, nice. Mm.
Like, here's an
So,
example.
mm-hmm.
Growing up, like within a conservative Christian Hispanic household,
Mm-hmm.
it's impossible. Like, it is impossible for me whenever I'm speaking to someone in any kind of position over me, like if they're like a manager at a store or they're just older than me, even if by a few years, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
use a sir and ma'am. And
Ah.
there's no way I can't. Like, it's impossible. Like,
I
like
get what you're
even
saying.
yeah, even if you
Mm-hmm.
tell me don't call me sir, don't call me ma'am, you're gonna get a yes sir, or I'm sorry sir, or I
Sorry,
can't
sorry.
help it sir. Like, it's
There gotta
hardwired,
be a
because
sir there.
yeah, it's good manners. And
I
even if
know.
people say they don't like it, it makes an impression. And that's part of setting your kid up for success,
Mm.
teaching them good manners,
Good
you
manners,
know,
yeah. I mean,
and
the
teaching
fact that the parents like give the kids toys so to get the kids back from off their back, isn't that already wrong? Like you had the kid. Why is it that now you want the kid to go away from you?
yeah,
Right? Why do you want to keep
like
the kid away from you then now?
of course no, it's okay for them to have their games and toys and all that,
Mm.
but sometimes you have to, as a parent, you you have to spend a lot of time with your kid. Like, there's
Mm,
no ifs, ands, or buts, and I understand it's tiring. I get it, but at the
mm.
same time, you reap what you sow.
Yeah. You made that kid.
Yeah,
Who taught you to? You made that kid. So
so
yeah. It's their obligation that it goes with obligation, responsibility, and all that. Mm-mm.
mhm.
Alright, and let's see. Any other things that we can talk about? I wonder. I don't really have any other question. Any other? Do you have any other question about the topic?
No,
Mm.
think we discussed a good bit, and,
Mm-hmm.
I think we, covered everything.
Mm. Alrighty then. It's everything's covered. Well, even if we do think of new questions, we can do it again later that. And with that, that concludes the what's it called again? The discussion today in this video. Thank you so much. Thank you, Brian, for coming, for being the guest. It was really good talk. What do you think of it?
10 out of 10. Thanks for
10
inviting
out
me.
of 10. Hell yeah. Of course it's 10 out of 10. It's with Ethel after all. Hell yeah. Okay then.
Yeah, I only count for, like, point 0.2 of it.
What? uh, do you want to like do this again some other time, maybe with other topics and all that?
Definitely.
Nice. Alrighty then. And with that, we're gonna end the video here. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This has been the cameraman and Brian. Just Brian, huh? Alrighty then. Bye bye. A smile. Have a nice day. Have a nice day, and take care. A smile.
Did you end the recording?